Hello and welcome. So yesterday I promised that I would do a 10-part, very short 3 to 5 minute videos on the common, pitfalls that people who are starting out on a new health and fitness regime tend to fall into. So the whole idea is that these are tips for success so that you can basically continue on your journey to have an incredible you in 2022 and beyond, if that's what you want to do. Yesterday we talked about, being open to the possibility that perhaps that when you say you may still have some room to improve and to learn and to actually translate what you know into actual action, and thereby actually know what you know. Today, tip 2 is around making sure that your behaviours are congruent with your actual goals. And what we mean by that is a lot of people will fall short in this area, either because they want the results now, or they're not sure what they don't know, because until you start a journey, sometimes you don't realize how hard it's going to be, right? And we always expect our progress to be linear, which is another topic which I'll cover in probably the other tips coming up in the over the coming week or so. But let me use again some examples. So say someone wants to lose like 100 pounds or roughly 40 odd kilos, right? He joins the gym and exercises for like 2 times a week, which is great because he wasn't doing that before. He completely ignores, though, the eating habits, which will actually help with the body composition change and the significant weight loss goals that they want. This person's goals, let's call him Peter, he has a massive goal. It's a life-changing weight loss to get him into a healthy weight, right? But the behaviours that he's doing, on the other hand, are actually very small and inconsequential kind of lifestyle changes. So the behaviours don't actually match the goal that he's trying to accomplish. So how can Peter possibly succeed? He's going to get frustrated because he's not seeing the results, and then he's not going to be motivated to keep going because he's not seeing the results, right? So I guess what my point is here is that in life, it's really easy to set really lofty goals, and I encourage you to do so. There's nothing wrong in dreaming big. By all means, go for that. So if you want to lose 50 kilos of fat or gain 25 pounds of 25 kilos of muscle, earn like $1 million a year, maybe meet and marry your soulmate and all that sort of stuff, that's great. But these things don't just come to us simply because we want them and we think about them all the time, right? It's going to take a little bit more than that. They only come to us when we actually engage in the right behaviours, when we match our behaviours with our goals. And if things aren't working, that obviously then gives you an opportunity to reevaluate what you're doing. So you don't necessarily change the goal, but you change the plan, or you come to a realistic expectation around what it is that you're willing to do to be able to get to where you want to get to. So, when we talk about being coachable, again, this is about, how willing, ready, and able are you to make the behavioural changes that'll get you to your goal. And if you're not yet ready, or that's going to be too difficult, then we look at extending the time frame and looking at what you can do so that we get incrementally better every day and still working towards that goal. So sometimes we have to adjust the time frame, right? So I guess with respect to like the type of coaching that I do, if you follow the principles that we have, between 80 and 90% of the time, then you're going to get results. And most of the time, particularly when we do our one-on-one coaching, we make sure that we actually individualize the programming to your specific body type and goals. But not only that, you as a person, right? So it's a holistic approach because we're looking at you in the context of your life. You don't operate in a vacuum. You've got many different things. You've got different conflicting interests and obligations in life. There's a lot that comes with adulting, and we all have different lifestyle preferences. And we all have, different families and expectations in that area, as well as career goals and business goals and whatever, right? So, so basically, if you follow those principles and we individualize those plans and you stick to them, then most of the times you're going to get the results, unless there's something that's underlying, which of course gives us a clue to go and explore what they are. And, you'll be guided through what that process will look like. So my point is it's not just enough to think about the goal. You have to do the math, right? Arithmetic, rather. if you're eating 4 meals and snacks per day over the course of 7 days a week, and that's on your meal plan, then you want to probably aim, for about 25 of those 28 meals to be what's on the plan. So we're sitting at an 80% compliance rate, right? When it comes to exercise, if it's recommended that you need to do 4 or 5 sessions a week because of the type of goals that you want and to build the lean body mass to get you the right body composition to actually sustain weight loss and keep your energy up and all those sorts of things, then you need to do your best to stay active and only skip a few workouts, if at all, during a month, for example. It's got to be consistency over time. So one, you've got to be consistent, and then you've got to do that over time. So if the goal is changing your body composition in the fastest possible time frame, yet you're only following like the 80 principles, say 14 out of 28 meals using the example before, and skipping 2 exercise sessions a week, you're not exactly matching your goals with your behaviours, right? So your behaviours are not congruent with what you actually want. So you need to really be honest with yourself around what it is that you want to do and ask yourself if your goals and behaviours are matching. And that's why having a coach who keeps you accountable or helps you get the data so you can actually externalize that and actually have a fact-based conversation with yourself to actually see how you're tracking will help. So, if you're regularly your goals and behaviours are not matching, then you need to make some adjustments. If they are, then keep going, right? And note the small wins because you will start seeing some progress. So essentially you have to bring your behaviours up to match your lofty goals so that your behaviours actually reflect the type of person that you want to be in your big commitment, or you bring your goals down to match your moderate commitment. And I guess that's not a bad thing as well. Like, yes, okay, you might be on a weight loss journey, but if you've spent 4 decades getting to being 50 kilos of weight, then do you need to lose those 50 kilos within 12 weeks or even a year? I'd say 12 weeks would be too aggressive anyway, but my point being is it might take you a couple of years to get there, especially if you want to do it sustainably and still live your life to a certain degree, right? So what we need to do is just be okay with the fact that wherever your commitment level is and what your behaviours that you're actually willing and able to do, they match as much as possible, right? And either approach is fine. You don't have to have lofty goals or you don't have to achieve them straight away. We just need to make sure that behaviours actually match the goals and that we keep adjusting them. Of course, as you embark, if this is the first journey for you, then as I said, you might not know exactly what behaviours should be in place to match your goals. And that's exactly why a coach can help you, because they can actually help you based on other results, what's more likely, what's sustainable. And then what we do is we put a plan in place, we measure it, we track it, we see how you're feeling about those sorts of things, how easy it is, and then we adjust the plan. So we actually use a series of quantitative and qualitative data to get you to where you need to be. All right, that was tip 2, match your behaviours and goals.